Let's dive into tokenized real-world assets today and why this could be a huge impact for the crypto community. My name is Paul Barrow. Welcome back into TechPath. I do want to thank our sponsor today, and that is Uphold. You guys can jump over to Uphold, which is just uphold.com. You can earn up to 4.4% APY on your US dollar balance in there. That's no lockup, and to a certain amount, it has FDIC insurance. So check it out. Use our link down below. It's going to give you a special offer to get started on that. Now, we've had real-world assets on the subject matter for quite a while here on the show, and we wanted to dive in a little bit deeper, and I wanted to bring back one of our previous guests, which is Monty Metzger, coming in from LCX. Great to see you again, Monty. How are you?
Paul, good to be here on the show. I think TechPath is really tackling the most important topics, and that's what we're going to do in this today's show as well.
Listen, I want to get your opinion on the XRP Ripple strategic reserve position. What are your chances that you think Ripple is going to succeed in getting XRP into the reserve?
I think it's historic times. We have the first crypto president in the United States, and he's also pushing global markets, as we can see now.
Right.
But this announcement and the presidential tweet where he mentioned this U.S. strategic crypto reserve is really a milestone. This had been like a dream come true for the industry, and obviously mentioning XRP as one of the assets is moved the markets. A lot of speculation. At the end of the day, they decided to go with the pure Bitcoin strategic reserve at the first step, but we don't know what will happen now. In our opinion, a strategic crypto reserve is something every country needs.
It's something to keep an eye on for sure. I want to talk a little bit about, and obviously we want to talk about Tiamonds here in a second, but I want to go into gold for a second, because this is where we get into tokenized gold reserves. Is this potentially more likely? This is from the Federal Reserve, and it says right there, this is Federal Reserve owned gold or hold gold. In exchange, right now, the Secretary of Treasury issued gold certificates to the Federal Reserve, and the amount of gold transferred at the then applicable statutory price that was held by the Treasury. Do you think that we could get to a point where tokenized gold could actually become a reality here, especially here in the United States? What are your thoughts?
In general, tokenization will bring the next wave of crypto adoption. We will see 10 or 100x of the current crypto market price, or the whole market cap of the industry to develop. And there, gold will play a tremendous role, because the accessibility as an investment class is not that easy as you think. Buying physical gold for you personally has a lot of risks. So you need to be shipped, you need to store it, and you need to keep it somewhere. So the idea of a tokenized gold could really revolutionize and bring mass adoption to gold as an investment class, but also for crypto. It could be the next bull run.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've talked about DeFi yields on gold and USDC over at Folks. If you guys have, we've shown this site before, but I'll zoom in here on the lending pools, which is kind of crazy in terms of the performance here. If you look at just USDC and gold right now, performing at about almost 11% APY. What do you think about this? Is this something that is going to draw enough attention? Will we see this market possibly explode?
We believe in the future of tokenization, and gold is a key driver. And we've now seen the highest gold price ever in history, more than $3,000 per ounce. And now what we've encouraged our users is to buy tokenized gold. So at Tiamonds, I think when the show is out, we will already have launched gold bars where you can buy one NFT, which is equivalent to 1 ounce gold bar at our platform. So this gives people the ability to buy a digital representative, a digital twin of a real gold bar. We store it free of charge. We insure it free of charge. So it is an access to the actual underlying gold 101 with a non-fungible token.
When is that going to go live?
The first gold bars have arrived in our vaults in Switzerland, and now the team is preparing it. So I can't say the exact dates, but it is just a few days away.
Coming soon. All right. All right, so when you look
Probably
at
when the show here for our audience, you can check it out, times.com, it might be live already.
so how will your tokenized gold differ from what Meld is doing? If you look at Meld, they're using Algorand and then launching soon on the XRP ledger as well. How will it differ, and what are you guys using to kind of launch with Tiamonds?
So there are general fungible tokens like Meld, but also like Pax Gold or Tether Gold. There, you can't redeem it so easily, so you need to buy larger amounts. The redemption is complicated, and you need to trust the centralized entities. In our case, it is a one-on-one tokenization. So we have 1 ounce gold bars, and 1 ounce is 1 NFT. So there's a clear backing. You get a certificate of ownership. You see the gold bar. Each gold bar has a certain number and ID, and you actually can see it and look it up, the validity, that this is your gold bar and it's in the vault. So this is a key differentiator. You can actually get access to the physical gold, while you don't have to worry about the trading, the storing and the shipping and the storage. So this is really a game changer to buy into physical gold bars stored in the beautiful mountains of Switzerland and Liechtenstein.
I like it. So you look at the potential here of people maybe taking the gold they have and trying to figure out, well, maybe I could go ahead and, tokenize my current gold. Right now, it looks like Meld has gone this way. They have some conversion partners that they're using, what looks to be some retail outlets, but bullion that is going right there on physical to digital, which is kind of unique. Do you think we'll see a new gold rush, kind of where people have physical gold that says, hey, just to your point, I want to digitize this and put it into a tokenized security? Are you guys planning on doing anything like that?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're from the US, Singapore, or anywhere in the world, having gold in a physical vault in Switzerland is a key benefit. Storage fees are high normally, so we offer that free of charge. And you can then basically use our platform, which is similar to a decentralized NFT marketplace like OpenSea. So you connect your wallet, you buy the NFT, and then you can trade it, gift it, hold it, whatever you do.
What about your strategy here in the United States? We've got what is now a very crypto and blockchain forward administration, completely different than it was just 6-8 months ago. What about LCX? What are you guys looking at doing here now for the United States? Are you restructuring your plan to come here?
Yes, US is a game changer for us. We had been tiptoeing into the US markets previously, but we didn't launch and start because of the kind of toxic environment. This has changed now, and LCX is known as the fastest growing European centralized exchange. We are specialized in tokenization in terms of becoming the centerpiece of the tokenization infrastructure in the future. Tiamonds is our showcase, and we are proud also for you and your audience, Paul, to let you know that we have tokenized diamonds on the XRP ledger already, and we will take the gold bars also on the XRP ledgers. These had been immediately sold out, our diamonds. We are also offering that at LCX, but we are going all in to tokenization.
All right, so are you available in the United States? On the countries and jurisdictions list that was on your website, this was again back in September. Has that all changed now? Are you available in the US?
Well, US is still restricted as of today, but we had been invited by a few mayors and government organizations to now open up shop. We are considering this step, and we are, in heavy preparations for it. I think US is now becoming the crypto capital. We can profit from all the learnings we had of 6 years being regulated out of Europe. So there's the saying, US innovates, Asia duplicates, and Europe regulates. So we are now trying to make this our advantage, saying we can play with the rules and become the next generation of crypto exchanges in the US. What the US has given us in the last couple of years is uncertainty, a fight I would say, a war against crypto. And this war has now ended, and it turned around into a field of opportunities.
So I want to kind of go through a few questions here. They're kind of rapid fire, but one is in reference to the bank regulation, which is really about to change right now. The U.S. banks now are allowed to, as you put out on a tweet right there, custody crypto, mostly stablecoins, I imagine, holding deposits in stablecoins, and then facilitate payments in stablecoin, which is something we think is going to be a game changer here. When you look at the banking policies, this obviously is going to boost tokenization globally. Do you think this is going to impact what you guys are doing directly?
What we are seeing is the reinvention of the financial monetary system as we know it. Banks had been basically not allowed to touch anything in crypto. We've seen it for the crypto industry, how hard it is to open a bank account. Now banks are entering this field. And for us entrepreneurs who had been early in the days, we need to make sure that they don't eat our lunch. We need to still be at the top of it. But what's unlocking basically is that banks, federal banks are really like pushing in the direction to be part of the industry, and this will bring overall adoption from hundreds of millions of crypto users to billions of crypto users.
Tokenized commodities. We watch the rwa.xyz site pretty heavily, and one thing as I noticed is Monty, LCX is not on here. When are you going to be on here? When are we going to see tokenized diamonds on here as a commodity to show up? Because that obviously tracks all the commodities. Okay, all right, cool. Let's talk about gold a little bit further, because Robinhood is on the move. It's likely that they could launch tokenized gold very soon. If they do, does that change your strategy at all at LCX? And do you think that's going to be a big impact on the industry?
For the strategy for Tiamonds and Tiamonds.com, it's not changing it because these tokens are normally non-fungible. So it's also not so easy to redeem. At Tiamonds, you get one NFT, which represents a physical gold bar, which is your gold bar stored in this vault, and it's always redeemable. So you just contact the customer support, it will be shipped to you, you can pick it up, and you can also have a real-time audit. Then what we basically could imagine is taking this NFT and mint even a Tether Gold or other fungible token.
I want to shift over to another area that we have seen looking at tokenized assets and potentially going into it. And this is a clip talking about specifically the alcohol industry. I'll bring in and kind of explain this here in a second. Let me play this clip for you.
We've already been through it at a much lower level, and it was brutal then.
How does that change how you sell the wine, for instance? Do you have a customer and they buy it and then you bring it over so you're able to cover that tariff? I mean, how has it changed?
Importers such as ourselves, distributors, carry a portfolio of wines. 23% of wines sold in the U.S. are from Europe. 23% of spirits sold in the U.S. are from Europe. So distributors carry a full range of wines and spirits, and they don't get to replace one-to-one wines from Europe with wines from the U.S. U.S. wineries, wineries from abroad, they don't sell directly to retailers and restaurants. They sell to distributors, and distributors sell on to restaurants and retailers. So $1 in wine from Europe actually accounts for $4.52 of U.S. sales. This is a bit of a dagger, a potential dagger.
So he hit it right there. I mean, the alcohol industry is faced with some pretty big issues here with these tariffs inbound. And one of the things that has been looked at here recently is tokenized commodities like collecting wine and some of the artisan spirits. That could slow down the potential for tokenized beverage, like in the scenarios that we're seeing here, because wine, luxury goods, obviously we've talked about it, in the side of things like everything from watches to you could go to even in scenarios of handbags and things like that could flow into this. Do you think this will slow down the tariffs, specifically slowing down tokenized assets in the future?
It might slow down. It will have a tremendous impact on global trades in terms of investments. We've seen it in the past decades already with these free ports where you buy an asset like a Picasso, your favorite watch, or something else which should be taxed the moment you import it into your country. But the investors just leave it in these free ports, not being taxed. And this is kind of in a kind of very millionaire's bubble. But now talking about tokenization could open up. So you could buy your Rolex watch. This is stored in Switzerland, for example. You could buy your wines and everything without sending them to the US, which would trigger these import taxes.
I see.
Nevertheless, I believe that your president is a deal maker. He is now pressuring other countries with tariffs. We see this trade war, and ultimately, in Europe, it had been triggered also as they introduced a 50% import tax on whiskey, American whiskey. So Trump is not holding back and saying, I don't like that. We fire back with a 200% increase on your French wine. But ultimately, he's a deal maker, so he wants global trade, probably at zero import taxes everywhere, but he demands that also from other countries. And also this global settlement in trade is a key topic. So whatever you buy or ship, whether it's stored in a local free port or storage facility like what we use, the global settlement is the crucial part, because banks are living in this outdated, fragmented silos which are not talking to each other. So sending money from Singapore to the US takes longer than sending an email.
All right, so let's jump over to blockchains for the RWA. And I look at your website. The potential here for the most volume for you guys is, do you feel like it's going to happen on Ripple or XRP, or is it going to happen on Cardano or potentially other blockchains in the future? Which one is the most, and even Solana to a certain extent? I guess, are you on Solana now? Is that coming?
We are.
Okay.
We are.
Well, so which blockchain contributes the most volume right now for you guys?
So we follow the demand. We are blockchain agnostic. So we started out with Ethereum. We launched Solana, Cardano, and also XRP Ledger. Actually, in terms of demand, we saw the highest demand in being sold out from the XRP community. This was really mind-boggling to see the demand of real-world assets on a platform. So ultimately, we don't know where the market will be going, but we are open to play with any blockchain.
So to be clear, XRP is the highest demand right now. I want to go over to a couple of things within this, because this is in a document that you guys had and kind of breaking this down. And the idea of what's going on here is really around who is the potential true winner in tokenized assets when you look at this. So in that PDF, you mentioned something specific to Uniswap here. And that was really my question is, when you look at commodities or other things, could we see decentralized tokenized assets become the new wave of the future versus the regulated model that seems to be rising right now? What are your thoughts on that?
So decentralized networks will play a tremendous role in the tokenization, because ultimately, in simple worlds, we are kicking out the middleman. This is the case now that you could issue even securities as a company directly with all the disclosures without having a stock exchange license or something like that. So the technology which is enabled to kick out the middleman, and the investors could invest directly in the companies, whether they're in Latin America, the US, or in Asia. And we actually go in a hybrid model. So we do have a centralized approach as well as a decentralized approach. Details will be actually shared later this year, but we are working on something which is enabling exactly that, offering the market or decentralized access to kind of a direct to consumer access, as well as institutions, a way that bigger banks, they need some centralized custody solutions. And that's also something which we are planning to provide.
So why not launch your own blockchain? Why not just go ahead and just roll out a blockchain for LCX to deal with it? Obviously, that would be benefiting both centralized or decentralized, as well as just what you guys are trying to do in terms of tokenized assets. What would hold you back?
At the moment, nothing is holding us back from the technology side. It's something which we discussed many times, and we do see that Coinbase and Kraken had been launching their own blockchains with different approaches. I don't think that this meme coin approach from Coinbase is something more which is really lasting. So we take a different approach. But it's also the right moment in time when to launch new product innovation, and sometimes it's better to wait a little bit.
So if you did launch it, which sounds like you're going to at some point down the road, which chain would you choose? I'm looking at Dune right here. This is just tokenization, market cap by blockchain. Obviously, we know the kings of that, and that has been mostly in the side of Ethereum. Then, of course, you have Stellar, et cetera, kind of rolling into that. What would be the future here for you guys if you were to choose now?
So, Paul, I don't know exactly, and I don't want to disclose technology details, but what I can tell you is it won't be on Ethereum, because all the assets, what we are going to, what we talked about, from financial instruments to tokenized assets, they need a different settlement layer, which is much faster, and probably also offering a hybrid model between private and public disclosures, where some of the financial market players, they need some form of privacy. So if the Bank of America would step in, they don't want to disclose all their transactions like it is on Ethereum.
Well,
so it would be a hybrid model.
There's a blockchain out there. XRP Ledger would be a good one. You could go right there to it. And oh, I like that. Okay, that's all I needed. I can see you're dodging the question a little bit. I completely understand. Strategy is an important thing.
And ultimately, like, what we want is that we don't talk about the technology anymore, whether it's XRP or something else, but what really matters is that everybody is using it. So now you don't say, am I connected to HTTP protocol or like Wi-Fi? You just you're online all the time, and this will be here as well. Everything will be in the blockchain.
I used to believe that the blockchain would kind of become somewhat fade to black, kind of scenario. But now I watch certain industries that have more efficient tools. And when you look at the technology behind those companies that are much more efficient, you realize they do have a technology advantage. And I think that's going to happen in the blockchain space. I used to think it wouldn't as much. Now I'm starting to see the use cases start to play out. Speed is going to be very important. Security is going to be extremely important. And I think also reputation that these blockchains have in the market, because people are watching this stuff kind of go through the regulatory framework, and now you have a president out there spouting tokens, it's going to matter, I think, in the future for sure. So we're going to be watching this one closely, Monty, very closely on what you guys are doing. So thanks again for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul.
You bet. All right, you guys, jump into the Diamond Circle. This is our own private group. It's a great place for you guys to get additional content from us. Also, you can get in our one-to-one conversation over on our Telegram group. We only have one, so just be aware. Sometimes you'll get people out there trying to tell you there's another one. No, that's not true. The one we always link to is right here on our channel or on our website. That will take you to our private Telegram group that you guys can join there. And of course, follow me out there on X @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.